talk with the latest of Michigan's very unique number ones. And we'll look ahead to the holidays and Michigan's bowling plans. All that and more coming up next. Michigan Replay with Lloyd Carr is brought to you in part by Abso Pure Water, delivering quality bottled water since 1908. By Chevrolet. Stop by your Detroit area Chevy dealers or log on to DetroitAreaChevyDealers.com. And by State Farm, providing insurance and financial services. Hello, everybody, and welcome to Michigan Replay. Well, good news and bad news on this show. The good news is Michigan is going to the Rose Bowl. Behind us, you can see the Roses and the Big Ten Championship Trophy for 2004. The bad news, Ohio State gets the victory in Columbus 37-21. And it's kind of bittersweet to know you're going to the Rose Bowl thanks to the Iowa Hawkeyes who beat Wisconsin, but you didn't get the job done in Columbus.
Well, we didn't run the football, and they ran it very well, and that was the difference in the game, Jim. Big plays, two big plays, something that we have had problems with really most of the year, and it came back to bite us today.
And there's one of those things where they go to a spread look. It wasn't the Ohio State you normally see from years past, and they get a quarterback who's able to make some plays with his feet.
Well, the best threat they had in that backfield was Troy Smith, and we did a very poor job against him. And as a result, he converted a lot of big third down plays. The time of possession in this game was over 5 minutes, 10 minutes in favor of Ohio State. And then in the end, that wore our defense down. But we did a poor job defending the running and scrambling with Troy Smith.
Well, this is the first series, and this is a 3rd and 12, and this just kills you.
Well, it's not the way you want to start off in that stadium, that's for sure. In a two-deep zone, we let them get behind us, and of course, now they get a big play, the crowd's into it, but we come right back with a great drive.
Yeah, I thought, and again, you want to talk about getting started quickly, even though they got the big play on their first possession, your next two possessions were almost perfect.
Well, we had good protection. We mixed the run in and hit some good passes, converted on third down here. Chad, with good protections, hit Braylon Edwards for a first down.
Here's a great screen.
Well, this is, we had this play a couple other times and couldn't get him the ball, but a very well executed screen. Guys out in front, David Boss. And we're down in great field position.
And here the touchdown, a nice catch by Jason Avant, and that one ties it up. So you answer the score.
Well, and that was big because it quieted the crowd a little bit, and of course they were excited after the big play. Here Lawrence Reed diagnoses that hand back draw play that's hurt us a couple of times this year for big plays.
Then this is your next possession, and you, again, offensively look sharp.
Well, Jim, we got great field position. Our defense held. They punted us the football. But that happened to be probably the longest run of the day here. Jermaine Gonzalez makes a good catch of a throw from Chad Henne, and again, we're in great field position. And here, short yardage, Michael gets it into the end zone. We got the lead, and with 6 minutes to go in the first quarter, and you couldn't ask for a much better situation than we have. But here, we get them deep into their own territory.
Yeah, they're coming out from their own 1 yard line.
From their own 1 yard line. And here they hit on the misdirection play, hit again for a first down.
Then they get Santonio Holmes here in the second quarter. Man coverage against Marlon Jackson.
Well, Santonio Holmes is an outstanding receiver. Troy Smith saw bump and run. Holmes got open and he hit him for a big play. And now Ohio State has great field position. Here, we stay on our feet. We should have had a sack, but instead he comes up there on a third down play with a big first down run. And then they get it down, a first down inside the 1, and he sneaks in for the score.
And they tie it up at that point at 14. And at this point, your offense wasn't able to continue their first quarter excellence.
No, we got great field position again, didn't do anything with it, punted the football, and here a lot of missed tackles. We did not tackle very well in this game. whether it was in the backfield or in the secondary. And here we missed an assignment, so it was a number of things that were not going right for us on this particular day. Here, Ernest Shazor makes a great play.
This is what you do well, the defense does. This is a 1st and goal, and you stop in 4 straight plays. Great play by Marlon Jackson, and you stay in the game. This should be a momentum changer.
Sometimes, most times, a goal line stand like that where you keep them out, but we punt out, they get great field position again, and here on a 3rd down, Smith again scrambles for a 1st down. And but our defense found the resolve to hold them to a field goal, which was great considering the field position they took over in.
And they had a 17-14 lead at that point. Then you come back, and just before the half, again, here is Smith making a play with his feet.
Well, it's they're in their 2-minute offense. We were unable to move the ball offensively. They got it with just over a minute to go. And here, we don't get back. On a scrambling quarterback, you got to get deep, try to throw the ball in front of you. They hit a big pass there, and just as the half ends with 4 seconds to go, they hit another field goal to make it 20-14.
20-14 at halftime, and I know that you went into the locker room and you felt like, you know, offensively you'd played well in the 1st quarter, but you hadn't played well enough, I think, defensively, and you were getting the ball beginning the 2nd half. What was the message to the team at halftime?
Well, Jim, in the 2nd quarter, Ohio State had the football 10 of the 15 minutes because they kept converting all those 3rd down possessions with Troy Smith running the football. And we had to stay in our lanes. We had to do a better job of tackling. And understand it wasn't their other running backs that were hurting us with the running game. It was just the quarterback. And offensively, we had to try to run the football. We didn't help our defense at all today in terms of running the ball.
All right, when we come back, we'll take a look at the 2nd half. That's coming up next right here on Michigan Replay. Wolverines trailed at halftime 20-14, but you'd won the toss deferred, so you get the ball beginning of the 2nd half, and usually that's when your team this year has come on and done something well. This time it didn't happen.
Well, we normally have responded, but on this day we did not respond and gave them an opportunity to return a punt.
And that, of course, was one of the big plays in the game.
Well, Jim, we got great position down here. We had a couple of shots at him, and you know, this is the kind of guy where you've got to tackle him. And there's right there's where we had him bottled in, and we took a fake. This guy's too fast. A big play, and now we're down 2 scores.
And that return was supposed to go to the right.
Yeah.
And he just broke it out. That's what great players do.
Well, we did a great job on taking away the return, but when he cut it back, we missed a couple of tackles. And here is, again, we did not do a much better job in the 2nd half with Troy Smith scrambling.
And here's a play, you just got to make a tackle.
Yeah, I mean, that's just poor tackling. And now this is a big play that he makes again. And that was the problem all year long.
And here you get a play to Santonio Holmes on a slant cut and gets away with a little shove on Marlon Jackson, but it's not called, doesn't matter, and it's now 34-14.
Well, there's not much pressure, and it's always a combination of things.
Here you put Steve Preston in at quarterback, or a little trick play going, but a quarterback drawn. He breaks one tackle, he goes the distance.
Well, he was close, and of course that picked us up a 1st down. And here to start the 4th quarter, we hit Braylon. Chad throws the ball up. He gets a personal foul for a late hit. Great field position.
But this game is still very gettable.
We have plenty of time. And here Chad makes a mistake. He waited a little bit too long to throw the football. And we were moving the pocket there, similar to the 1st touchdown pass. But he throws an interception. And now we get the ball back. Our defense holds. We're forced to get into our 2-minute. But we still have time if we can take advantage of the possessions that we're sure to get.
Yeah, the margin of error is much smaller, but that interception hurt. Here you get Braylon Edwards deep, and you're kind of getting back in at 34-21, and still there's time. Yeah?
There's plenty of time, Jim, and our defense has got a hold, which they do. We get the football back here after a long punt, and on a 4th down play, we don't convert. Now we give them the ball at our 30. We hold. They kick a field goal. We still now have got. We need 16. We need 2 touchdowns and 2 two-point conversions.
Yeah, it winds up at 37-21. But again, you go back and you talk about the margin of error when you've gotten yourself in a hole. The interception really hurt because that was going in the 4th down play. The margin of error gets smaller when you drop that pass. Basically, you're in a world of hurt.
Jim, Ohio State played better than we did, and we have to give them credit.
Talk to me a little bit about adjustments and things that they did from first half to second half that were anything new, any surprises that Ohio State threw at you?
No, I think, matter of fact, once they got the 2 touchdowns in the 3rd quarter, they really went to trying to use the clock up. And it did enable us to get the football back, but unfortunately, we could only take advantage of it twice.
And the inability to run the football, they really, I think, were aggressive with their linebackers, came with a lot of different blitz looks. That's why I think the one screen went for big yardage, and you missed a couple that could have done the same thing.
Well, we had two screens. We had some guys that we missed, but Chad was, anytime you have to throw the ball 54 times, Jim, that's not the way we want to play. We had too many 3rd and longs because we couldn't run the football effectively. And the screens you mentioned twice, we had screens that were going to go for good yardage. And because of the pressure, we just didn't get them converted.
Are you in a bit of a bittersweet mode after that game where, you know, with the Iowa win over Wisconsin, you're going to the Rose Bowl, you're still the Big Ten champions? Well, you had bad taste in your mouth after Ohio State.
Well, yeah, absolutely. I don't think any of us can be happy with the way we played, and yet we can be happy with a Big Ten championship, and we've earned the right to go to the Rose Bowl. But certainly we want to go out and play a lot better than we did in this game. So we get some time off. We get a week off for Thanksgiving, but we got to come back and do some things to get our defense shored up. We've got to be a better team against the run.
All right, when we come back, we will take a closer look at a guy who had just a brilliant season and a great career, Braylon Edwards. That's coming up next, right here on Michigan Replay. The best college football player in America, and it would be hard to argue because Michigan's incomparable Braylon Edwards has been everything and more than you could have expected in his 4 years in maize and blue. He is at the top or near it in almost every career receiving category, but more importantly, if you need a big play, Braylon will make it. He's the son of a former Michigan great, Stan Edwards, so he's had the pressure to excel since he was very young. He's had to grow up fast in a fishbowl that at times wasn't always pleasant. And through it all, Braylon has stood tall, and all the while, wearing #1.
I didn't think it was that big of a deal once I got the number until the media just blew it out of proportion. Then that's when I knew that I got to make good on this offer, because if I don't, I'm in a world of trouble.
Lofting in right corner of the end zone for Braylon, up in the air. Touchdown, Michigan!
When this team is in trouble, they can count on me, and I will deliver. And so I think against Michigan State, like you said, it wasn't the Keyshawn method, you know, telling everybody, yelling at everybody. It was more so I knew what they were about to do. Now I had to make good on it. When they went up top, I had to make that catch. Coach Carr knows, you know what I'm saying, when those situations occur, or Coach Campbell, I look in Coach Carr's eyes, and when he sees my eyes, he knows what time it is. You know, my teammates know as well. You know, they see me, they hear me, they feel me, and they know when I get quiet and I get into a zone and I stop talking, they know what time it is.
Edwards made a great grab and takes it 58 yards for the score, and Michigan is on top.
There have been times where there have been ups and downs, and that's what happened with Coach Carr and I. You know, every time we were not on the same page, because he, in fact, wanted me to be that leader last year, and I, in fact, was taking a different route. You know, I wasn't being the guy that I should have been for the team, and he was letting me know that. You know, he came out publicly You know, he did that because he knew that I was a guy that could take it. I heard something when I was young and I didn't understand it. He's not here to be your friend. You know, he's here to make you a better man, and he's here to make you a football player, a ball player, and that's what he's done. You know, he turned me into a man as well as a ball player. And once that's all said and done, now you guys can be friends. And that's what ended up happening when you're a senior. All the other stuff goes out the window in your 4th or 5th year, and you guys just have a genuine relationship.
He is the first Big Ten receiver ever to have 3 1,000-yard seasons.
As a freshman, it just meant I got to wear all the Nike gear. I got, you know what I'm saying, I got to tell people I went to the University of Michigan. I was on the same team with Marquise Walker, and I just got to tell people that. But now that I'm a senior, you know, I've been here for it lets me know what it's about. I get to tell people that I had a chance to go to school in Michigan. I've had a chance to mature and become a man. You know what I'm saying? I understand a lot of things other than football. You know, I have a worldly view on issues, and I can talk politics, and I think that Michigan has done that for me. You know, Michigan is the school, University of Michigan, though football is the big part of it, it's not just about football. It's about so many other things, and I can tell people I was glad to be here.
Braylon Edwards, quite a young man, and it's amazing to see the maturation process from freshman, sophomore to now as a senior. And that's got to be a gratifying thing for you as a coach, to see a young man understand and grow into what this young man has become.
That does my heart good. I mean, there's a guy that's taken a lot out of his experience at Michigan, and certainly Jim this year, he has been an unbelievable leader. He's had great presence, and he's been so much fun to be around.
And the other thing is that I think it's a lesson for a kid to come back to school and take that 4th year. It benefited him hugely.
Well, I don't think there's any question it benefited us, it benefited our team, and I think it benefited Braylon from the standpoint that he did some things here. When you talk about the first player in Big Ten history to gain 1,000 yards in each of the 3 seasons, that speaks to a lot of things, not just being a great athlete. It speaks to his toughness, his competitiveness, and his will. And I think that's, of all the great qualities Braylon has as an athlete and as a person, his will to compete, will to win is as good as I've been around.
Well, there's no question we will miss him. But you have an opportunity to honor Braylon and this Big Ten Championship Michigan team coming up on Monday, November 29th at the Laurel Manor in Livonia for the annual Michigan Football Bust. Jim Mandich, by the way, will be the master of ceremonies, always put on by the U of M Club of Greater Detroit. For ticket information, call 1-800-847-4764, and there are tickets available. When we come back, Lloyd Carr and I will talk about where he's going to spend the holidays in sunny Southern California. That's coming up next right here on Michigan Replay. Welcome back to Michigan Replay. Well, the Wolverines, as Big Ten champions, get to go to the Rose Bowl, and again, it's bittersweet, but I know you got to feel good about the fact that you deserve to go out there because you played the schedule and you beat Wisconsin, the team you tied for, and the tiebreaker sends you west.
Well, I love the Rose Bowl, as you do, and I think any Michigan football player loves it. And certainly, Jim, for us, the opportunity to go back, that's something that we pointed to all year long. I don't know who we're going to play yet, but we'd like to go back and do a better job of playing on New Year's Day.
Let's take a look at the final Big Ten standings, and you're up there on top with Iowa. Wisconsin, with 2 losses in their final 2 games, drops to 3rd. Northwestern, Ohio State, and Purdue are in the top 6.
Well, Jim, 2 weeks ago, you talk about how it can change in a hurry. 2 weeks ago, Wisconsin was really in great position to get into the national championship game. In their game against Iowa, they turned the football over 5 times, just like when we played Iowa, they turned the football over 5 times. So it's a very, very competitive race. If you look at Purdue, who started off 5-0, ended up 4-4 in the Big Ten in 6th place.
One of the things you did want to say, too, is you wanted to talk about Lamar Woodley and his performance against Ohio State. You thought he was out there giving it everything he had.
Well, I think he was outstanding. And I think one of the things that we've got to get shored away is our front. We've got to do some things there to get better, because until you can stop the run, you're going to have a hard time winning.
But you have the chance in Pasadena for redemption. I mean, this is a game that's great. Coming off Ohio State, you can tell your kids, look, we've got to get back to where we were.
Hey, I know one thing. This team will be motivated. They'll be excited to play, to go back, and because it's something that they've pointed to. That nobody was happy the way last New Year's Day went. But we'll play a great team, and we'll be excited to do it.
And don't forget, everybody, we're not done with Michigan Replay. We've got a couple more weeks left. By the way, I want to remind you, too, don't forget about the MGO Blue for Mott campaign with the wristband. It's a Champions for Children wristband, raising money for a women's and children's hospital. You can get these wristbands for $2 at Emden, Dunham's, Meyer, a number of different places, and $1 of every wristband will go to the building fund. Hey, thanks for joining us this week. Don't forget, next week we'll be back with another edition of Michigan Replay. Michigan. Coming up on Michigan Replay, we'll relive the great moments of a remarkable Big Ten title campaign by the